As if to cancel out Caligulio's order, a low, clear voice echoed across the tent. I cannot have that. My boss says he will not allow you to retreat. The man put all the frenzied activity in this command tent to a halt. All eyes were on the tent entrance, where there stood a man in a foreign costume with a weapon called a katana at his waist. His white hair, speckled with gold, was pulled back and tied into a single knot, and he had a long white beard and a wrinkled face, but his sharp eyes and straight, clean posture made him seem ageless. Who are you? Krishna asked, stepping forward. My pardons. My name is Ajay, and I have been sent by my master, Lady Carrera, as her messenger. This was Ajay. Rimuru, being the peace-loving demon lord he was, had decided to send out an envoy to hopefully accept the enemy's surrender. One of the staff officers spoke up to him. A messenger. By your boss, do you mean Rimuru? Ajay's expression turned grim for a moment. How dare you refer to my stately leader strictly by his given name? Such arrogance. I hope you will reflect on that affront in the afterlife. The moment he stopped speaking, the head of the staff officer who asked the question fell to the ground. No one present realized for a moment that Ajay had drawn his sword. Even Krishna, who was closest to him, couldn't react in any way. With his single sword, Ajay now dominated the scene. As everyone fell silent, he began to list his demands in a clear voice. Now that it seems everyone is ready to listen to me, I will give our terms. Disarm yourselves immediately and surrender. If you do, you will be kept alive, I assure you, as our slave. If you choose to defy us, that is fine as well. We will decide your fates with our valor instead. I will wait 1 hour. If you wish to surrender, you may do so at any time before then. With that, Ajay turned away. Caligulio's brain was working hard, trying to figure out the best plan of action. Hoping for a Hail Mary, he decided to negotiate with Ajay. Wait. Excuse me. I'd like you to wait a moment. Yes. Ajay stopped and looked back at Caligulio. Sorry. My name is Caligulio. I am the leader of this army and chief of this operation. Ah. And what do you want? Ajay's mission here was to buy time, so he was in no hurry to go back. Sir Ajay, you said earlier that you'd accept us as slaves if we surrendered, but could you perhaps reconsider those terms? The idea of slavery is simply too cruel to bear. I'm afraid I cannot accept that condition. The sudden plea startled his staff officers. But no one voiced any objection. You can obtain victory for yourself without having to fight us when we're at our most ferocious. Instead of making us slaves, would you be able to let us go for now? We'll pay you reparations, of course, and we promise to refrain from any further invasion. No, actually, more than that. I would like to return to my homeland and appeal to the Emperor to form an alliance with your nation. If you and the Empire join forces, it'd be a trivial matter to rule the world. I'm sure it'd put your leader in an advantageous position over the other demon lords, and I don't think this is a bad offer from the demon lord Rimuru as well. Believe me, we will never forget a favor. What do you think? Could you perhaps allow us an audience with His Majesty the demon lord Rimuru? Caligulio was desperate. Looking at how things were right now, the invasion of Dworgen and the Labyrinth were both abject failures. Everybody involved with both operations was dead. The only survivors were the less than 200,000 people present here. Caligulio may have been greedy, but he wasn't incompetent, and that's why he offered this proposal. If the demon lord Rimuru wants me alive, then so be it. I'm sure somebody will bring the required intelligence back to Emperor Lidor. And once they do, this defeat will finally take on meaning. Caligulio was prepared to sacrifice himself for this negotiation. But it was all too late. Do you think you are in a position to state your conditions at this point? The moment you rejected Lady Tensura's mercy, your fates were all sealed. Your choice is to resist or obey. Take your pick. That was Ajay's reply. And with nobody else able to move, he leisurely took his leave of the tent, but not before adding one more thing. And don't think about running away. What'll we do? Misha asked Caligulio, who was standing there stunned. After a moment of silence. We have no choice but to fight. All our lives belong to the Emperor. Perhaps we would survive longer as slaves, but we could hardly face His Majesty if we have to accept such humiliation. It was with a quiet determination that he made the decision. But we have no magitinks and no magic cancellors. It's going to be a tough fight, don't you think? I don't care. Survival's no longer the goal. Our mission is to bring back all this information to the Emperor. All of you have to escape this, no matter how many soldiers have to be sacrificed. In that case, I'm going to run away. I'm not admirable enough of a woman to go along with all of your death wishes. She waved her hands in the air as she did, all but relishing playing the villain. It made Caligulio smile bitterly. Thank you. I know you have links to that kid Yuki. Tell the Empire just how incompetent I was. Don't leave out a single detail. Yes, sir, she said, smiling back. Nobody was going to stop Misha. Everyone knew that getting out of there was never going to be easy for her. Let me appoint you guards. We'll take that role, if we could. Before Caligulio could finish, two figures appeared in the tent. They were Bernie and Jiwoo, freshly escaped from the labyrinth. Single digits. Krishna shouted. Oh, Krishna. Good to see you again. Staying here's just gonna get you killed, you know. You wanna join us? Bernie asked. Everyone fell silent. A single digit, one of the strongest forces in the Empire, was predicting defeat for them. It spoke volumes about the severity of the battle that lay ahead. No. I will stay with Lord Caligulio. Oh, no. Well, I'll tell His Majesty everything you did, then. You will die a glorious death in battle, not like some gutter rat. Give it all you've got. It's bound to be worth doing. Bernie's words echoed heavily across the tent. Jiwoo silently agreed with him. Then, taking Misha along, they quickly withdrew from the scene. Those who remained were prepared to die. There's no need to stick to that envoy's time limit. We'll strike them with maximum force before the enemy's ready. Caligulio's order reached all the way down to the bottom rungs in an instant. Everyone went on the move, hurrying along, ready to give their all in the final battle. Ah, they've decided to fight, then. Geld shot a respectful glance at the Imperial troops who had started moving en masse. The role of Geld's second corps was defense. They take the front line and protect their firepower in the rear. That should have been enough to achieve victory. The fourth corps would be in charge of providing that firepower, and right now it was led by Momiji from the Tengu. Victory for our master. Already she was delivering a charming little pep talk to her forces. Taking this side approach in her quest for Benimaru was quite a bold strategy. Momiji was leading the main force, with Xian commanding her own unit and Alvis overseeing the reinforcements. Coordination between them wouldn't be a problem, not with Benimaru around. As long as I do my part, we won't lose. Geld's defense was truly ironclad. The elites of the yellow and orange numbers totaled 17,000 in all, and these fighters were all completely protected by Geld's unique skill protector. As if that wasn't enough, Gourmet Geld's other unique skill had a stomach that was accessible by the entire armed force. If anyone got hurt, they could be healed magically through that via the support troops to the rear, and if someone was seriously messed up, they had instant access to as much healing potion as needed. There's no way they could lose, Geld thought. But after that, he looked at the sky. There, he saw the figure of an officer named Carrera who was assigned to his unit. If she's got enough power to make Sir Rimuru count on her, I'm sure gonna be looking forward to this. The final battle was almost here. Geld, nearly beside himself with excitement, continued to quietly wait for the opening bell. Carrera was idly floating in the sky, within Geld's line of sight. She had been assigned to the 2nd Army Corps with her two companions, but they were operating separately for now. For now, the first priority on Carrera's mind was figuring out how to best annihilate the enemy. So there she was, in the sky, just about to unleash a nuclear magic spell. Whoa, wait a second. Lady Carrera, what did you just try to do? Ajer, just back from his envoy errand, hurriedly came up to stop her. He had rushed back here because he had a premonition that something bad was about to happen, and it turned out he was right. Oh, you're back, Ajer. You know, I've been thinking about a few different things, but I honestly think I need some practice. I don't want to mess up when it's time to really fight. She wanted to fire that off while nobody was around to nitpick at her about it, but being interrupted didn't seem to bother her at all. It was clear evidence that this behavior was pretty much par for the course. Practice, you say? Right, yeah. I'm just triggering a nuclear explosion in the sky, so it'll look kind of like a big firework, you know. There might be some residual heat that burns up the ground a little, but no biggie. What do you think? That won't be a problem, will it? It's excellent, my lady. A perfect idea. Well done, as always. The girl who accompanied the smug Carrera was now giving her effusive praise. This was Esprit, a demon on roughly the same social caste as Ajer. She looked like a cute little girl, but one with a terrifying personality. In fact, it'd be no exaggeration to say she was the worst of Carrera's underlings. On the other hand, his colleague Esprit didn't mind Carrera at all, thanks to having such similar personalities. Ajer envied her for that. It's not excellent at all, you. Keep your mouth shut. The long-suffering Ajer yelled at the irresponsible Esprit about it. Then he turned to Carrera and began to explain matters carefully, as if talking to a child. Listen, Lady Carrera. I just visited the enemy camp as an envoy, right? Right, yeah. And it's a rule on the battlefield that you're not supposed to make any moves until the time comes. What? It's just practice. Practice or not, you still can't do it. Ajer's boss Carrera was like a runaway train with no brakes. Stopping her required a mammoth effort. She had been making a regular habit of agitating the demon Lord Leon on a daily basis, shooting nuclear magic off to provoke him. It didn't turn into a war thanks to Leon being cool-headed, but if it was any other demon lord, the fallout would have been massive. But then, as Ajer earnestly explained the customs of war to Carrera, the Imperial army suddenly went on the move. Hey, Ajer, you gave them a lot more time than that, didn't you? I did, yes. Okay, so while I was listening to all your boring trivia, the Empire's gotten a leg up on us. Lady Carrera, leave that old man alone, and let's teach a lesson to those idiots who can't even keep a promise. Esprit flashed a look at Ajera that screamed, I hope you're happy now, asshole. Then pointed toward the Empire to draw Carrera's attention. She nodded, smiling. That sounds good. You won't stop me, of course, right, Ajera? The terrifying tone of the question indicated that any attempt to stop her would result in murder. But Ajera's reaction wasn't what she expected. Yes. I did tell them to wait an hour, but I did not say they couldn't attack in the meantime. I suppose I am to blame for this misunderstanding. So what'll we do? Well, if someone is that eager to die, it's the duty of any warrior to intercede on their part. No need to go easy. I think you're quite safe doing whatever you like. Ajera was fully ready for this. Great. This is so thrilling. See, that's why I love you so much. He'd never stop Carrera now. Realizing this, she let out a gleeful laugh. Okay, let's get started. Let's teach them what happens when they try meddling with us. Yes, my lady. Coming right up. And so the battle broke out. And the Empire had no idea that their own actions were akin to signing their own death warrants. Alright. How about a rain of nuclear spells for starters? Ooh, I like that. It's like planting tulip bulbs in the ground, except they're mushroom clouds. No, that's still too little. Lady Carrera, remember what our master told us, please. He told you he wanted something massive that'd scare the Empire out of their wits. Wouldn't combining our full forces together be the best way to adhere to our master's wishes? Carrera's eyes opened wide. It made sense to her. Ajera's words were indeed correct, and now Ajera himself, usually busy snipping at Carrera to keep her from running wild, was telling her not to hold back. It was a deeply moving experience for her. Oh, Ajera, you finally understand. And you're right. I think I've been setting my own limits too much lately. Your words just woke me up. Right. Let's show them what we've got. I have a big spell I've never quite pulled off before, but it's time to debut it to the world. Carrera was motivated. Motivated and going all out like never before. In the end, the Imperial army that had begun to march ahead was destroyed by an attack from above. They had multiple Legion magic-driven barriers over them, further magic defenses provided by state-of-the-art equipment, a force populated by soldiers who all had high magic resistance of their own, and all manner of holy blessings applied to them. And all those measures were utterly powerless in the face of the large-scale extinction magic Carrera unleashed. This was gravity collapse, a type of nuclear magic. Boasting the most force among all the spells in its family, gravity collapse required both precise magic manipulation and an enormous amount of magical energy. If the abyss core at its foundation was left unattended, it'd balloon in size until it triggered a nuclear flame, but in the forbidden gravity collapse spell, it was instead suppressed and compressed to create a supergravitational field, in laypeople's terms, an artificial black hole. This supercharged local gravitational field, created by the adverse reaction from the planet's own magnetic fields, then crushed anyone caught inside into the size of a pebble. The hypercompressed space soon reached its breaking point, and in another moment, all its energy was focused on a single dot in space. Then it imploded and the planet was greeted with an extremely miniature version of a supernova. A jet-black pillar connected the surface to the heavens, the earth, sand, and dust that had been swept up to the stratosphere by the huge explosion, as if Carrera just opened the manhole to hell. It was no type of magic that should ever be used while standing atop a planet. If she hadn't taken the time to define a precise range for it, the entire forest of Jura would have become a charred wasteland. And nobody in the Imperial army ever had a chance of being resistant to it. The nuclear magic gravity collapse is an all-attribute attack, encompassing all magical and physical phenomena. Thus, most troops caught inside were smashed into dust before even realizing what had happened. Carrera was satisfied with this blast. What she wasn't so satisfied with was Ajera, who was already back to his usual habits. He was the one who encouraged her to do it. Where did he get off, trying to complain about it now? Still, Ajera was expecting nothing quite on this scale. He did think it could wind up being trouble, yes, but not even he realized that Carrera had so much power. But dwelling on it at this point was a waste of time. The long-suffering Ajera's troubles had only just begun.